Hi, my name is Arvolyn Hill, and I'm the coordinator of family programs at the Everett Children's Adventure Garden at the New York Botanical Garden. Today I have a fun art activity for you to do at home around plants. Today we are going to be using plants as paints. Plants have been used for thousands of years as paint to record life on Earth by the Mayans, to be used to dye clothing like indigo, used to dye jeans, which is still we do today, and as just a beautiful way to record life on Earth and to make art. Plants hold what's called pigment, and pigment is a natural coloring that gives plants different colors, from green, which is in chlorophyll, to red and yellow, and all the colors of the rainbow can be found in nature. So today we're going to take items from our kitchen, our pantry, or outside and make simple watercolor paints for you to make some art with, okay? So I have 6 colors that I created using plants. I'm going to tell you which each color is and what plant it came from, all right? So the first color I have is brown. And to make this color, I use cinnamon, which is used in cooking, but cinnamon originally comes from the bark of a tree. The next color I have is purple. And for this, I use blueberries, which is a fruit. And I ground up those blueberries to add into my paint. Next, I have the color red. And for red, I used hibiscus, which is a type of flower. And this was dried hibiscus from a tea. For green, I used clovers that I found outside, which was a weed growing in my garden, to give me the color green. For orange, I used turmeric, which is a rhizome, which means it's an underground stem. And this was found in my pantry to make the color orange. And then lastly, we have yellow, and I used goldenrod, which is a wildflower that was growing outside, and it has beautiful yellow flowers, and that's what I used to make goldenrod the color yellow. So to make my paints, it was really simple. I just took an empty bowl and I grabbed whatever color I was interested in. I wanted each of the colors of the rainbow. I would say that turmeric and ground seasoning was really easy and fun to do because it's already ground up almost like a paint. So I just put a little bit into the bowl, and then I added not a ton of water, but just a little bit of water, and then took a paintbrush and stirred it around, and it already quickly became a nice watercolor, natural watercolor. I will be honest with you, some colors were harder than others, and you might take a guess as to which colors were harder to make. You can pause this video if you want to have a conversation about what that might be. The colors that were hardest for me to make were green and yellow. So what I did for these was that I actually put the plant and the water in a pot and I boiled it to extract the pigment into the water and then put it back into the bowl. It was a hot day, so I thought just having it in the sun, it would be enough, but I really needed to put it into boiling water. You could do that with all of these, but for these ones specifically, putting it in a pot of boiling water and then putting it back into your bowl might be best because they were the hardest. All of the colors are going to be on the lighter side than your usual paints, but I would just recommend that for the green and the yellow. And if you don't have certain things like these, that's totally okay. You can use whatever you have around you to make different colors. Look in your refrigerator, look in your pantry, see what you have, because I didn't have any beets, but that would have been great for red. Or if you have any skin of onions for orange, you can really experiment with what you have around you and get creative in making your colors. All right, so once you have whichever colors you're going to use together, I'm going to show you what it's going to look like on the paper. All right, so I'm all done with my plant paint watercolor. I actually made 2, which I'll show you, and I'm gonna leave them out in the sun to dry. And to finish off this activity, you can do different questions like we've done in past videos. I noticed I wonder it reminds me of to reflect on this activity. So one thing I noticed about this activity is that some colors worked better than others, which I expected in the beginning. For instance, the turmeric, which I used for my sun, was really bright and beautiful, and the hibiscus, which I used for my flowers. But the green from the clovers was way lighter than I think I was expecting. So that's one thing that I noticed. One thing that I'm wondering is if I mix different colors or if I had different plants or fruits around, what other colors could I have created while making my painting? So I think that's something I'm going to try when I do this next time. And does this remind me of anything? This reminds me of scratch and sniff colors because some of the paints really smelled really good, like the cinnamon, which I used as my soil for my dirt. That reminded me of the scratch and sniff stickers and markers that I used to love when I was a kid. So that's one thing it reminds me of. So I notice I wonder it reminds me of to reflect and to think about how this activity was. So I hope you give it a try at home. I hope you enjoyed it. Always remember to write your name when you're done and the date so you remember this day. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy this activity. Bye.